Hey everybody.
We're back, everyone, today for current movie reviews. Man, it's weird doing current movie reviews at home.
Yeah.
I made popcorn, so that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not theater popcorn and whatever, fine.
We saw Scoob today.
We saw Scoob today, or yesterday actually by the time you get this.
Mm-hmm.
Because this one's going to have editing. Because I need to show you screen caps of specific examples of, oh God.
Okay. Disclosure, before we get into this, when I saw the trailers for this, I was like, you know what? This looks fine. I'm not a big fan of Scooby-Doo, so... And it's not because, like, I've seen it and I've really made any kind of, like, clear judgment call on the quality of Scooby-Doo. I just didn't grow up with it. And since then, I've just kind of avoided most Scooby-Doo media because it just didn't really interest me all that much.
Oh, now here's my backup for
Go ahead.
Scooby-Doo. I enjoyed Scooby-Doo growing up.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed the original 70s run of the show. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course it is. It's Hanna-Barbera done on like...
5 cents per episode.
Yeah, you know. It's dumb, silly fun.
Scooby-Doo maybe had more of a budget as time went on, and it became more popular, but probably not even.
Once we got into the 90s, they decided to bring it back with, like, they made some movies for, like, I don't know if any of them went to theaters, but, like, direct-to-DVD movies and stuff.
I definitely
TV
watched
movies.
a few episodes of a pup called Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I guess there was that before that. And then they did, like, a reboot of What's New Scooby-Doo, and unfortunately I watched a lot of that. I mean, honestly, What's New Scooby-Doo is not bad. It's just the exact same concept as the original, just brought forward. It's not good, it's not bad. It exists in a state that just perpetuates the ideas that were set down by the original.
I know I've heard good things about Mystery Incorporated.
Yes, because that decided to take the concept of the Scooby-Doo characters, but put them in a more serious tone and actually a story that, like an overarching story of mystery that, like, builds upon itself and actually digs into, like, mystery and intrigue and had, like, plot. I've not watched it, but I have a friend that's watched all of it, and they greatly enjoyed that show. That's a cool way to evolve the character. And then I briefly saw that there was a reboot of Scooby-Doo that put them in ugly, god-awful Family Guy style.
Oh yeah, that's trash.
And I'm not even going to try to watch that.
I've also seen the live-action Scooby-Doo movie, because,
Which one? Or both?
The first one.
I saw both. They're both bad, but the first one is like...
Laughably bad?
Yeah, but at the same time, I was entranced by how bad it was.
It's kind of a special movie. Like, it might just be nostalgia talking, because that movie definitely came out, you know, when I was a kid. But, like, that is some high-tier garbage right there.
Oh, yeah.
All that being said...
Scooby-Doo has never actually been a good show. Really, ever.
Or a good property.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like, I think even people who are fans of Scooby-Doo will be like, yeah, I enjoy Scooby-Doo, but I realize, like, it's
pretty stupid.
And not even that it's stupid, it's a very formulaic, run-of-the-mill kind of show. And, like, that's not to say, like, that makes...
Is inherently bad.
No, like... It can be a bad show, but people still get a lot of love and value from it.
I mean, there's a reason that
Sean and I obviously don't have that connection to it, but...
Honestly, the thing that I always was angry at about Scooby-Doo the most is the fact that the monsters were never real, which is why there's only 2...
That's the whole point of the show.
I know, and I hate it.
Because you want monsters.
I want the monsters, honestly.
Look, Sean's a Digimon kid, so...
I like monsters, okay? Monsters are cool.
Monsters are the real people beside us all along, Sean.
I know that's obviously what it's going for in, like, the worst way possible, in, like, the dumbest ham-fisted way. But, like, I like the concept of real monsters, so, like... Scooby-Doo and the Zombie Island, which had like weird cat people and literal zombies. Probably the best movie in the entire franchise. I mean, there was also Sexy Cat Girl, so what can you do?
The truth come out.
Also, the next one after that introduced the Hex Girls. And I mean, a goth girl band? Yes. Also, there was a giant Frankenstein turkey monster in that one. And
y'all are learning a lot about Sean today.
And it also had the one guy that's a fantastic voice actor that overacts everything. The butler from Clue.
Tim Curry?
Tim Curry. He was the villain of that movie.
Okay.
It was great. I could never remember that man's name, but I love him.
You should remember that man's name.
I should.
He's an important man to remember.
Anyways, that's all talking about old Scoob stuff.
Speaking of voice actors, though, again, I'm not super familiar with Scooby-Doo, and Sean and I struggle remembering voice actors and actors on a good day, but it is really sad to see that only Frank Welker was brought back as a voice for the original Mystery Gang in this. And they have somebody else doing Shaggy's voice. It's kind of a mess.
To weigh in on this, because I've watched so many different iterations of the Scooby-Doo universe, I'm used to everybody sounding different.
Right.
A lot. So,
but
honestly...
they're at least trying to put on that similar voice.
Yeah, I guess that's
These guys
true.
were not trying. Like, Fred does not sound like Fred. It's Zac Efron.
Oh, was that Zac Efron? You know, at some point I probably knew that.
It's fine.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway,
That's why
to cut to the chase, though, Scoob. We watched Scoob.
we watched Scoob.
It was
spoiler-free
bad.
section first, of course, but
It was bad.
it was atrocious.
I didn't have high hopes going into this, but I was like, it'll probably be fine. Like, I'm ready to have a few laughs. This was awful. And I mostly want to say that it's awful due to it, not necessarily for the actual quality of the film. The quality of the film is not great, but the thing that made this so insidious to me was that it is an obvious corporate marketing tool to try and bring back Hanna-Barbera characters and make references to agencies who demanded they be made reference to.
As
Product placement.
Yeah.
But usually the product is more so like IPs and brands of people, like Simon Cowell.
You know.
There is like 10 Simon Cowell jokes in this movie. What year am I in? We don't make Simon Cowell jokes anymore. We barely made them when Shrek 2 came out. It was already a tired joke then.
Because nobody cares about American Idol anymore, and he hasn't been on that in years. What is he even doing now?
I don't know. Like, what? There's just so much. You could say that it's just references, like Easter eggs for fans of old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, but no, man. This goes beyond just the simple, like, Easter egg. This goes into...
We want to make a Hanna-Barbera verse.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like.
Yep.
Without getting into spoilers.
Yeah.
Alright. To go off of what you're saying. That is probably the worst part about this movie. But, to add on top of why that is bad, other things that are also incredibly bad about this movie. The animation is poor. The modeling is worse. Okay, here's a screenshot of Scooby-Doo's face stretched out of proportion, and it stays like this for a solid, 10 seconds on screen because they want him to talk while looking like this. this is not good to look at. This is obviously for a joke, but this isn't even a good joke.
This is something that would be fine in a Scooby-Doo cartoon. Like, it translates well.
It looks fine in 2D.
That joke looks good in 2D, or at least in the old Hanna-Barbera style cartoons. At the beginning of this movie, there's a section where
they literally do the opening to Scooby-Doo, except they do it in 3D models, and it just feels off.
And it's not to say that you couldn't do it with 3D models. It's just this does not look good. The animation's not snappy enough. They didn't cheat their models enough to give them the same appeal as those old 2D drawings. And I think that's really sad because, like we said before, like, I don't have nostalgia for Scooby-Doo, but I can tell you, just as an artist and an animator, like, that old Scooby-Doo intro looks better than this $1 million movie tried to pull off with 3D models.
I can explain it real easily. Hanna-Barbera guys had a budget of $5, and they were masters of posing and working with $5. They make strong dynamic poses that snap from one to the next or slide from one to the next. This movie is just trying to emulate that with 3D models without understanding why they did any of that in the first place.
I feel like we've regressed in CG and like watching this whole movie feels like we've regressed at least 15 years. Like, in terms of jokes, plots, the way the movie ends,
like the structuring
character
of the
models, but most specifically in animation. When Tangled came out, I know this might seem like a rant, and trust me, it'll make sense when I get to the end of this.
Okay.
When Tangled came out, master animator Glenn Keane came to Disney, and there was a huge breakthrough made in CG animation where Glenn just drew over the 3D stills, and he's like, if this was a 2D animated movie, this would look like this. And so they broke the models to make it look like that, because animation needs that exaggeration. In 3D models, with 3D animation, it's great to have those because, like, you don't have to draw the character over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
However, in order to get that same appeal, and specifically for something like this film that is trying to go for a 2D look in a 3D movie, pushing those boundaries is absolutely necessary to get the same kind of exaggerated motion. And you see films like, the Peanuts movie.
Yeah, that's a
really,
good example
really well
of emulating a 2D style, a very specific 2D style in 3D, and they make it work.
And it might sound like I'm being a little contradictory here, because we talk about parts of this movie where they're trying to... They are trying to emulate that 2D style, but it's just not pushed far enough. Instead, it just looks super uncanny.
It looks half-hearted at best.
Mm-hmm. And the animation feels sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
For something that should be, like, zippy and fast.
Mm-hmm. It's because they put way too many frames in there.
Yeah.
Because they made the pose and then they had it smoothly transition to the other pose instead of...
I mean, I can't speak for their process, but just something does not work here.
Yeah. Also, the plot is bad. The characterization of everyone is bad. The
whole gang is, like, barely in it.
The gang isn't a... This is a bad Scooby-Doo movie, and this is also a bad movie. These don't inherently go together, but they are both inherently true.
This is a giant commercial for Hanna-Barbera cartoons, so they use Scooby-Doo as a mascot to make you put your butt in a seat and watch the movie.
About all these Hanna-Barbera characters that no one knows. Because no one knows about Hanna-Barbera nowadays. We see you,
Especially
corporate company,
these old ones.
We see you obviously trying to bring back franchises that are very dead and weren't even super popular to begin with. And these were still the most popular Hanna-Barbera products that they could do. And it's bad.
I mean, it's not like there aren't popular Hanna-Barbera products, like, from today. But, like, they're obviously trying to go for just that 70s nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these characters, like, I didn't even know who they were. Yeah. We won't talk about them for spoiler reasons, but
I mean, characters that show up in the trailers are the Blue Falcon and his dog sidekick.
Dino Dog?
Sure.
Or something?
I don't know. I only vaguely knew these characters were things.
I will say that out of the character designs, I liked that the robot dog's design the most. And
But
I feel like
he
they
wasn't a
had
robot to begin with. So they were able to do anything they wanted by reinventing the character as a robot.
Yeah.
Because he was just a dog in a superhero cape.
I'm just trying to think of positives. That was the one, like, character design and animation that I liked.
Also, because all Hanna-Barbera products are inherently missing anyone of color.
Oh.
There is a new insert character that is a female black gal. I don't remember her name. She's awesome. She kicks ass. But of course she does, because it's a corporate grab to get a new audience in there. She has nothing.
It is so shallow.
Oh, she has nothing to do.
I am not, like, obviously, I would rather tokens be thrown into something than them not being included at all.
But it's so obvious why this character was added the way they were.
She has no character development. She's
just always perfect.
She's just, she's just
she's
perfect.
Sassy. She's the pilot. She can kick ass. She's great.
Oh my god.
It's like,
this whole movie is just a disaster. It is so shallow. And it's got...
They can't even bring the real Blue Falcon. They have...
the sad emotional beats because, we live in a post-Pixar world. So we've got to have the tear-jerky moment for no reason. And it's so forced. And
you know exactly what it's going to be from the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
The trailer spells out what's going to happen.
We have an emotional speech where the characters all,
get together.
Even though there's nothing that spurs that on.
It makes no sense.
We've got
jokes.
Minions. We've got minion characters because we live in a post-Despicable Me universe.
So we have to have identical creatures that are small and cute, and they just exist. It's the minions of the bad guy.
It's so
corporate.
Shallow.
It's a corporate shill movie. Everything is bad.
So bad.
Don't watch this movie.
I mean, watch it if you want. I don't care.
Don't pay $20 for this movie.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, that has been
probably the worst part about the fact that these are premiering in your house is that it's more expensive to see these movies now.
Yeah.
And
we paid $20 for Trolls. We had to pay another $20
for this movie
to rent it once, to see it once.
Yep. Sure, I could have paid $5 extra to own it forever, but I don't want to own this movie.
No.
This is bad. If we went to our local theater, we could have watched this movie for $16. That's
for both of our tickets.
That's for both of us. Mm-hmm. And then we could have spent the extra $5 to get some popcorn or something.
Yeah, and at least then we would have seen it on a big a big screen.
With, high effects. Instead, I'm paying $20 to watch it on my averagely sized TV with no extra sound system.
I gotta make my own popcorn. I mean, what the hell?
Don't watch this. Don't give them money. I know the Trolls 2 movie apparently made bank off of this system.
Oh, this movie will make bank too.
Yeah, because it's got Scooby-Doo.
It's Scooby-Doo.
But it's bad. It's just bad.
It's just shallow and so, disappointing.
that's it for non-spoiler section.
I
tell you about trailers, but we don't watch them anymore because we're at home.
Yeah, I guess that's one bonus of not going to the theater.
Hell, I don't even know what movies are coming up next. I have to look at a list.
No.
Doesn't matter. We're going to get into spoiler section now, I guess.
Yeah, here's your time to leave. I don't think we have much more to say about the spoilers.
Probably not. Probably just name-dropping Hanna-Barbera characters and references, I guess.
I can't even name most of the ones that show.
No, I'll just describe what they are because I don't know what they are. Anyways, go.
Shoot! Get
And
out of
for
here!
people that aren't going to watch the movie, because please don't.
Oh, there is one thing I need to talk about. Okay, so the climax of the movie is that Cerberus escapes from hell, and the Mystery Gang have to get him back into hell because Alexander the Great and his dog had a portal to hell, and somehow this is connected to Shaggy and Scooby. It's super, super dumb. Don't worry, you're really not missing anything. So anyway, Cerberus comes out, and I just gotta say, please show a screenshot of this.
Yep. Here's a second one. Here's a third one from a different angle.
So, CG people, do you guys think, like, this has to be a known problem by now? Or maybe I'm just crazy. But when I mentioned it, Sean laughed because he knew exactly what I was talking about. So I'm not crazy. At least one other person acknowledges that this is also true. Things that glow green in CG always look awful. You can't make it look good. I dare y'all to prove me wrong. I have never ever seen anything that glows green that does not look horrible. And not horrible in like a, ew, gross, it's green and nasty, and that's what the color green is.
It's more like horrible
with.
as in like, this doesn't look like it exists in the same plane of existence as everything else. It's like...
it looks like a bad CGI effect.
Bad CGI effect put into like a movie from the 30s. Or not 30s, but like 50s.
Right. And, you know, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
2010s.
It looks like it was badly CGI'd into a different movie.
People always make things glow green, and it always looks bad.
And on top of that, Cerberus here, like, they're obviously trying to go for some sort of, like, ethereal look because it's glowing green, has a...
It's a ghost dog.
Yeah, it's got a sheen around it. It's sometimes transparent, but it's also physically, corporeally there, and none of that works.
Well, okay, the part that doesn't work is the fact that sometimes he is see-through, and other times he is not.
Yeah. There's wild inconsistencies with this character and how it works, and it's bad.
Speaking of inconsistencies, this is yet again another case of a movie that I am almost 100% positive that there was about 3 or 4 scripts written for this, and then instead of like fleshing any one of those out, they just put them in a blender, hit puree, and they're like, that's our script.
And then corporate came in and say, hey, you need to add...
all these other old Hanna-Barbera characters.
Add Dick Evilson, or whatever his name is.
Dick Dastardly.
Dick Dastardly. He's got to be the villain. Yeah, and Butley, his dog. Muttley. Whatever. Add them in. They're the villains. Also, you got to add the Blue Falcon, except, I don't know, modernize it. So make it his son or something stupid. And his dog is now a robot.
And just make millennial jokes, because we at corporate like millennial jokes.
Because that'll draw in all of the...
kids.
That'll draw in all the boomers that actually know about these properties. And then they'll drag their kids to the movie and laugh their asses off. And then they'll buy our movie on DVD.
Yeah. And then gift it to their millennial kids going, there's a character in here that reminds me of you. Shoot me.
Hey, remember that joke where they made fun of, like, the only good Supreme Court judge? They do that.
There's a Harry Potter joke that goes on, like,
It's when
there's so many things where it's just like,
reference.
Hey, you know this reference? Haha, yeah, that reference again. Mm-hmm. Remember the time we referenced that reference?
Remember the time that Simon Cowell existed? Yeah, me too.
Oh my god.
Let's bring up Simon Cowell again. Hey, you remember the Wizard of Oz and the monkeys that go OEO? Or whoever the fuck it is? We're gonna have the little robot thingies do it for no reason.
Oh, you know that reference we made to make the character sound stupid, like he doesn't know anything? Now we're going to ignore that part of his character development in order to make another reference.
Yeah.
Because Shaggy immediately does that. Mm-hmm. Young Shaggy's like, oh, you're dressed as a... The joke goes on too long, but eventually he comes around to Slytherin, and Velma's like, no, I'm dressed as a judge. And then later... And it's established, like, Shaggy doesn't know what a judge is.
Mm-hmm. But when she says the name of the judge, he's like, oh, a Slytherin.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Wow, cool.
You're referencing the fact that, like, the only good Supreme Court judge is evil or something.
Mm-hmm. And then we go, like, just a minute longer, and instead Shaggy calls her Judge Judy.
Yeah. It's like...
Pick a reference, guys. Does Shaggy know what judges are or not? You know, like, just some basic character consistency. I know it's a small thing like jokes, but, like, you're Scooby-Doo. All you got is your jokes. So...
Well, this movie doesn't have jokes.
No.
I mean, it has... jokes.
Jokes. Okay.
Haha, we insert joke, the first thing we thought of in 5 minutes. We are making fun of original Scooby-Doo and the fact that Shaggy is some sort of reference to a hippie.
Oh, God.
Haha, you know how there's a Ferris wheel in this movie? Well, of course it's going to fall off its hinges and roll around for a bit.
Isn't that so wacky and original? The 5-year-olds in our movie might not have seen this seen this thing before. It's not really a trope, I guess. It's just a thing that always happens with Ferris wheels.
Hey, everybody remember that random caveman character from Hanna-Barbera?
I sure don't.
I don't know who this fucker is, but he exists, and he's guarding the last MacGuffin head.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, hey, look, it's, they go into an arcade, and there's just 17 million references to Hanna-Barbera things in it. Including, the
Hex Girls?
The Hex Girls. There's a Hex Girls poster there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, there's a reference that makes sense in this universe, but like, why?
Also, the whole tear-jerking thing is, oh God.
Here's the collar I give to you as a child.
Why?
And Scooby-Doo says, I'll never take it off.
Why even
And then they take it off at the end, because of course.
Even bother giving Shaggy and Scooby an origin story if you're just going to do this? This is just... it's so bland. Like, I know people might be mad at me for calling a movie bland or saying like, oh, there's always people who are like, I liked it. Good for you. You're allowed to like things I don't like.
It was still bad though.
I just... Oh.
It was still a corporate shill of a movie.
So dumb. Okay, I'm done talking about this. This was just a bad movie.
I can only assume that...
Whatever. I'm excited to forget about this.
Made this movie is trying to make a Hanna-Barbera verse. For serious, no, I'm not joking. I think they really want to bring back many Hanna-Barbera franchises. Mm-hmm. And
the background characters were so awful.
Oh, they all look terrible.
You'll notice that, like, the first minute into the movie, there's a ton of, like, background characters.
They look like they weren't textured.
They're, like, not lit or modeled or rigged properly. I don't know. They all look really bad.
Anyways, I, for one, would be fine with all of these Hanna-Barbera properties dying and never coming back.
You know, it's okay to not bring nostalgic things back.
But to
Heaven forbid, I know.
But Tennelle, money.
I know.
All right,
I know.
That's it. I don't know what we're watching next. It'll show up eventually. Yeah. Bye.
Bye, everyone.